back with Stefsonabudget. Welcome back for another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at our Transfer Tuesday for the last 2 weeks actually. I missed last week's video because I was out sick, and we did have some transfers, and then I had what should have been 2 last week and 1 this week, but ended up all going last week. Just because I was trying to play catch up from being sick with my budget. But let's go ahead and jump on in and we'll kind of see what that looks like. So we're going to get into the budget binder here. And the first thing I like to look at are, I have my 2025 goals right here in the front, just to keep me on task about what it is I'm working on. So I have, our debt goals that we're working on for this year, as well as our savings goals. And one of our savings goals is to put $1,600 into our current emergency fund this year. The way that I am doing that is by setting aside a set amount of money each payday, and I put it into savings challenges. And when I complete that challenge, then it goes into my emergency fund. But because we have a current emergency fund, as well as a couple of sinking funds and things like that, that I keep in a high yield savings account, which I use Ally for my high yield savings account. I really like their buckets feature. So I haven't had any concerns with them. I think they're great. So that's who I'm currently using. And because I have money that sits in that account, I earn interest as well. And the interest that I earn, I just move into my general savings, which is like my emergency fund, if you will. So we're going to start with our emergency fund. So every month, what I have for interest kicks in. So let me take this off. I was trying not to because of the reins, but I'm gonna need to. So for February, we had our February interest come through, and that for February was $70.49. So that is crazy amazing, you guys. That's 1 month of interest. Just by kind of keeping money in those accounts and those buckets. So what I'm doing, this tracker I created for myself. So at the ending balance, I'm just trying to add this up to $1,600. So let's see, for February, okay, we had $27.97. Plus, for February, we're adding the $70.49, which is going to bring our year total to $98.46. This is what I've made so far, just on interest alone, not adding, anything into it yet myself. So I haven't completed any of my challenges. So on top of the $1,600 I should save for my emergency fund this year, I'm also earning this interest. So we should hopefully add, if we keep this up, much more than the $1,600. So we're at $98.46 added into our emergency fund this year. So let's go ahead and color in our tracker. I'm going to put this guy back in. Okay. All right. So then I also have this visual doodle page here, Harry Potter themed, of course. This comes from Heidi over at debtfreecharts.com. And then, like I said, I created this Harry Potter themed one for myself. So we have $98.46. Each little doodle is for $16. So we can color in 6 of these. We have 1 colored in, so we can add in 5 more. So let's go ahead and grab these out. I love adding visual trackers like this when and where I can, you guys. It's just a nice additional way to kind of put eyes on your progress. So let's go ahead and color in 5 more of these little wizarding doodles. All right, friends, we've got those all colored in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a nice little visual on our emergency fund progress. Let's go ahead and flip over to our debt section. So we are currently working on really one, but I'm tracking two currently, just because I had started January with one debt and then quickly switched to a second one. So that's why that looks this way. So let's start with our city one. This is our primary debt that we're working on right now. And on February 9th, we started with a balance of $856.28. When we started the beginning of the year, we were at $1,732. So we've already got half knocked out. I had a great question when I did my January debt update, which is different than these videos. I had my balance down to $856, but my debt tracker was $1,206, and that's because this tracks in the moment and this tracks by month, and my monthly pay, how can I say this? The way that I break down my month for a paycheck is not the first through the last day of the month. It is often the last paycheck of January carries over into February, that sort of thing. So that's why mine looks a little bit different. So this is live and in the moment versus the monthly is just looking at what I marked as my January budget. So that's where the numbers were off a little bit there. Okay, so on the 9th, we put $512 towards this debt, which is fabulous. And the way that breaks down is $150 of that was a debt snowball that's in my budget. So this came directly from, just the budget itself. Another $200 was also from another debt snowball, directly from the budget. And when I say debt snowball, that means I paid off a personal loan and a credit card previously on this journey already. And I leave those items in my budget so that I continue to put that money that was going to debt before to debt. So that's how I've built my snowball. So essentially I had a $350 debt snowball from paid off debts to put towards the current one. So 350 came from that, and then the other 162 came from side hustle Etsy Pay. So I think it was Etsy Pay. It was either Etsy Pay or my Ko-fi memberships. I can't remember exactly which one. I'd have to go back and look. I think it was actually my Ko-fi memberships. So that's where that $512 came from. So if we take our $856.28 minus $512, that brings our balance down to $344.28. So we still have a little bit of time left in, actually no, that was my last February paycheck, I believe. Let me flip to it and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. So if you look over here, my monthly pay period breakdown. So my January budget consisted of the paydays of $12.29 and $110. So that means January for me was $12.29 through through January 23rd. So you can see how it's not exactly the month. And then February for me is actually going to be broken down in my paychecks. So what I'm going to count as all of my February budget is everything from January 24th through March 6th, actually. So it's a much longer month, February technically. So that's what I mean by I don't budget from the first to the end of the month. I kind of have to break it down this way because that works best for me in my budget since I'm not a monthly budgeter. We're every 2 weeks. So hopefully that makes sense. That's why those numbers didn't quite align and could have been kind of confusing. So super exciting progress, $344. I am so excited about that. So let's go ahead and pull this color tracker out. We were already almost halfway last time. So if I take 1732 minus 344, that means we've paid off $1,388 since the beginning of the year. Each of my little cupcakes are worth $42, which means I can color in 33 of these cupcakes. I have 20 colored in, so let's go ahead. Let's see, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So we can color up to here, you guys. Let's go ahead and take care of that really quick. All right, guys, we got that one all filled in. Again, I just love the added visual of where you're at. You know, you're looking at numbers, but then you kind of, this is all I have left, right? It gives you that really cool visual. All right, now we are kind of tracking a second debt because we started with a City 2, but I paid it off because we were coming to the end of the 0% interest, and I kind of panicked, so I pulled from savings to pay this. And so on February 9th, our starting balance was $16,1773. So obviously this isn't the balance on the card, but it is important that I pay my savings back. So I'm still acting like I have this debt. I just flip-flopped it. So I was focusing on a debt that had interest versus something, you know, paying myself back doesn't have interest. So we made a $100 payment back to our savings, which brings us to $15,1773 that we still have left to pay back. We started at $18,17 at the beginning of the year. So that is why I'm still kind of tracking this second debt as well. All right, guys, that's a look at all of our transfers as far as these two debts and our emergency savings goes for the last 2 weeks. I have really been enjoying looking at these on a weekly basis. It is really helping me keep focused. You know, I'm not feeling burnout just yet, which is great. Usually, you know, the first quarter of the year, I am really like go, 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 and actually get really impatient at getting debt paid off. I think coming off of a lot of spending around the holidays gets me remotivated at the beginning of the year. So I do tend to see the most progress in my budget the first quarter of the year for sure. Towards the summertime, when we start spending more money, I definitely have, you know, we have more money going out, less to put towards debt. And so motivation kind of decreases a little bit then. So for now, I'm riding the high of being highly motivated, and I am super excited about our progress so far, both on debt and in our emergency fund where we have our money making money for us, which is really exciting. All right, friends, thank you so much for joining me for another video. If you like this one, please give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to stick around, see how we do throughout this year on our debt-free journey, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.